The rankings are finally out. We can finally know what the DPS rankings are. Like, what did Cyrene do? What did Cyrene do to my little game? What have you done to my boy, Cyrene? We're gonna know. Oh, I moved my monitor. I spent an afternoon fixing this. I am coming at this fully raw, bro. I just saw the logs come out. This is the end of the first lockout, right? And all of a sudden, you can immediately know something is not quite right. This is what Cyrene calls balance. Look at the Unholy Dead Knight. Holy crap. Dude. The rogue is very strong, which I am not surprised. People were talking about subtlety for a while. I don't see a lot of rogues, so to be honest. Like, rogues are not a very popular race anymore in PvE, so I don't think that's a big thing for the raid. But like, look at Unholy, man. I might have to go Unholy now. Will I have to make an Unholy rotation week, Cora? Because what's the difference between the average and like Frost? Let's see, Frost is doing 59 and Unholy is doing 65. Keep in mind, Frost is not bad. It is up there. It is not bad. Frost is 10% weaker than Unholy. That's insane. For a modern expansion, that gap in damage is insane. The top DPSer is 10% ahead of the top 5. The Hunter survival is doing pretty well, of course, but it is not doing nearly as much as we thought. Arcane Mage so much better than Frost? Yes, it would seem so, but Frost has AoE, right? Like, Frost has his uses. Fire is weak right now, yes. That is not something that will stay that way for a while, guys. Fire scales very well, so I am fully confident that Fire is gonna keep climbing up. Like, if you like Fire Mage, don't be worried about it. It's gonna come online. They got a buff to Ignite. They are gonna come back. They just need gear. It's gonna happen. It's gonna happen, okay? Believe in yourself. Yeah, I'm not too worried about Fire. Frost is gonna stay in the middle all expansion. Frost is an AoE class. Okay, Survival, we all know Survival Hunter was the most broken class in MoP. Not anymore, obviously. I would love to pull up a Rogue main and ask him what the hell changed about Subtlety. They did changes to Subtlety, but I do not play Rogue, so I do not understand what those changes would even mean. And then we got the Windwalker Monk, which I am surprised about because every monk I met in any dungeon or raid is crap. I guess it's just crap players. And of course, number 4 is the Arms Warrior. Arms Warriors is either Arms Warrior or Hunter, but like, I think Arms Warrior is like the most popular class in the game right now. Everybody's playing Arms Warrior. You see them everywhere. You try to make a raid. By the way, we are doing a raid this Sunday. Sign up on the Discord. Join the Discord. You try to make a raid and you get like 20 whispers from Arms Warriors. And they are good classes, right? They are good. But like, there's too many of them. Way too many. That Windwalker range is so wide. A perfect explanation. Perfect example, right? This is the bottom average player, right? Like the quartile, the lowest 25% of players. And this is the highest 25% of players. The wider the gap, the more it means that like some players are really bad and some players are really good. Okay, you look something like Assassination Rogue, the gap between the lowest people and the highest people is not nearly as wide. That would indicate that the average Assassination Rogue actually cares about their class. Yeah, Arms is also super wide because the Sock Brain. You are 100% correct, the Sock Brain is very real, boys. Nobody's surprised about that. Actually, Survival Hunter, not that far wide of a gap. You see, the average is right here, and there is like a entire bunch of like really bad players in here. But like from average to like really high, there is not that big a gap. That would indicate that once you get like decent at the class, you can do really good damage off the bat. It is not like the Arms Warrior where you have to be like a really good player to get like the top DPS kind of deal. Like, it would seem like Survival is easier to master, so to speak, which we know that. Of course we know that, like the rotation is not that complicated. Where is my beloved Beast Mastery Hunter right here? Oh boy. He's at the bottom, bro. Let's see, the median is 56, which is not that bad compared to the Frost Decay. Upper quartile is 62 compared to like 67. Okay, yeah, it's like in par with the Frost Mage. If you look at like the decent players, the upper quartile, the top 25%, people do not understand Beast Mastery. I think that's the problem. People don't appreciate Beast Mastery. Also keep in mind, this is a logging website. Most logs, most fights do not consider add damage. They do not consider AoE damage. Even in fights where you're intended to kill the adds, a lot of logs do not consider like adds. So like Beast Mastery is not gonna shine, especially this tier, because there is not a lot of AoE this tier. Like the adds in Elegon, do they count for a log? I don't think they count for log, for example. Let's see. Elegon, okay, we go to Elegon. and we pick up a random log. How can I see what them? Okay, here. Okay, no, okay, look at that, look at that. Ads in Elegon do count. The ads in Elegon do count. Actually, ads in Elegon, you got only like a very brief time where you can AoE them down because they scatter, right? They move away from the middle. So yeah, AoE, even in Elegon, which is like a AoE fight, it's not really AoE, right? So Beast Mastery, because of the fights, is gonna suck. I am afraid it's not gonna suck forever, right? Like next tier, we're gonna get a lot more AoE and they are gonna really shine. But even if there is a lot of fights where they can do good damage, a lot of the time the damage doesn't count. It depends on each fight and the rules that Warcraft Logs chooses for that fight, guys. Their cleave isn't counted, yeah. We go back here and like this will not show imbalance. Like Beast Mastery, hard AoE class. Frost, hard AoE class. Those classes are gonna be underperforming when it is like 90% single target, obviously. And like what happens in MSV is that there is not a single fight where there is a lot of AoE. They all are pretty much single target the entire time. Time to Arcane? Hell yeah, man. Arcane is my favorite spec. You're gonna love it, bro. It's awesome. I gotta work on an Arcane week, Cora. I gotta work on that. The Shadow Priest is dead in the middle. That's interesting. I think also the Shadow Priest got shafted by the lack of cleaving in this tier. So yes, this is almost only single target damage in the logs, and the single target damage is not very well balanced. As you can see, if you look at like the average, the dead in the middle class, that's the Shadow Priest, the median is 58, and the median of the Unholy Dead Knight is 65. So that's like a 10% gap from the middle to the top. Sword is more balanced than MoP. You heard it here first. Sword was a gap of 5%. There's only a 5% gap in Sword from the middle to the top and to the bottom. At the bottom is actually terrible. Look at that. Combat Rogue is at 49 compared to 58. So it's even a wider gap right there. That's more than 10%. That is to say that I don't think the balance changes did anything for the game, at least in the DPS side. You can make an argument that healers are more even because they gutted the shaman to hell. So now we got no heals. That would be a really good question to ask somebody that plays the game and understands the game a lot more than me. Like, the shakeup in the healer meta and the nerfing of shamans. How many classes are getting shafted because they are not very defensible or mobile? And since there is no healing rain anymore, like, they got nerfed? How is that supposed to work now? I would believe that if you nerf shamans to hell, classes that cannot move are gonna have to move and lose DPS for it, lose uptime. So I feel like that probably is shaping the meta in some way I cannot quite understand. Boomkin has a large gap as well. Where's the Boomkin? Oh my god, it's at the bottom! Go! What happened? You were doing so well in the beta! Look at this gap! Look at this gap, it's like in Narnia! The lower quartile is 42, 30, 50, all going resto instead. Yeah, even Ferals kinda suck, honestly. I was expecting Feral to do a little better than this. Do you think the average druid doesn't understand the eclipse mechanic? Because I think they don't. You know me, I will just use a Wikora for it. I wouldn't think through it. But like, I heard several people complain about the eclipse mechanic and they don't like it. Not a lot of Boomkins. Yeah, like, the average Boomkin player is not a very serious player. There is a reason it's a meme, right? Like, the average person that plays a Boomkin when the entire world tells you not to play a Boomkin is a person that doesn't care. These gaps are wild. Something is absolutely going on, and it cannot be good. Okay, we're gonna do something else as well. I wanna check this out really bad. Who are getting the rank 1s? Because as you guys know, every fight has a different mechanic, and like, certain classes can deal with certain mechanics different than others. So the Quillens, it would seem that the Windwalker monks are absolutely destroying the place, and Blood Decay, of course, Blood Decay, their AoE is very strong. It is an AoE fight if you're a tank, if you're a DPS, not really. But yeah, like, why is a Blood Decay at the top with the Windwalker monks? They can dot everything, right? So like, this guy probably had a perfect uptime on all the mobs without splitting, even when they had to split them and move them, and that probably gave him the edge in the damage. Now for Feng, we see a lot of Blood Decays. This is good. And holy cow, what a cool name. I should have gone for that. I miss my Torrent. Real question, serious questions, guys. Do you think the damage of a tank should be balanced? Do you care about that? I don't know if I care about that. Like, will the average DPSer care? Yeah, I would expect the Blood Decay to dominate every fight. If you count tank damage as DPS, the Blood Decay will be like at the top of almost everything. Yeah, so we're gonna do DPS only. Let's see. Oh, you can't. Oh, that sucks. Alando is playing a Brewmaster now. That's interesting. He's playing several characters this time, but I do not see his warrior anywhere here. Oh, there he is! There he is! Alando Senpai! He got one! Rank number 6. In Garagel, the Spirit Binder, that's the troll guy that puts you in the void zone. So if you get pulled down, you suck. Like your damage is gonna suck. This is probably like the worst fight to parse because you kinda need your guild to let you parse. If you gotta deal with the mechanics, you're never gonna parse. I wish Dancing Steel was cheaper. Yeah, you know something really cool about DKs? You know, like underrated feature. You get a free weapon enchant as a DK, 12% strength. But okay, we're seeing that we are probably gonna see Alaundo take off eventually. You can bet he gets a rank 6 and he's like tormenting himself, figuring out how he's gonna parse the next week and make it like all the way at the top. I believe in him this time. Oh, look at that, he got a rank 2 on the Spirit Kings. No surprise, very good fight for melee, very good fight for melee. If the tank is good, you can DPS with a perfect uptime the entire time, and the range are the ones that gotta deal with the ads usually. So, of course, the Arms Warrior is doing very well. A Destruction Warlock in there, which is surprising. I don't know who this guy is. Statement, I never heard of this guild. It must be just a random warlock that just pump his ass off. And then we see a bunch of tanks in Elegon and Unholy DKs galore. Why Unholy DKs? Because they can multi-dot. Unholy DK can put the dots with only Plague Strike and you get both diseases on the target, and then you can do, you get the talents, right? There you go here, you get Roiling Blood. You gotta take this talent for Elegon. If you're a Dead Knight, you take this talent for Elegon. Frost can't, really. You kinda really need Plague Leech, so it sucks for you. But if you can take Roiling Blood, you can spread diseases to the target with a single Blood Boil. So you do Plague Strike on Elegon, you do Blood Boil. The second the mobs spawn, you do Plague Strike on one of the ads. The second all the ads spawn, you do one Plague Strike, you do one Blood Boil, and they are on all the target, and you don't need to waste any uptime, and you just do like your AoE rotation, and when the mobs scatter, the dots are still ticking. So yes, I am not surprised that Unholy DKs are doing very well in Elegon. I would expect to see a Blood DK here. I am surprised I am not seeing any Blood DKs at all. Why don't I see Jerome's name? Okay, Spildabin, wanna hear something funny about Jerome? Jerome was doing like 44k DPS on his warrior. He has really good gear because he was not taking advantage of Colossus Smash well. So I gave him like a warrior rotation Wikora, and like his DPS went out by 10k and he still doesn't want to use it. Wikoras are cheating, man. They are cheating. It's insane, man. I don't understand how classes like a 4th button rotation can have a massive variation on DPS. Well, in parsing it is like, you gotta keep in mind cooldown uptime, and cooldown usage. Optimal cooldown usage, it doesn't sound like a big deal, but it is. You also got things like snapshotting, like do you put your dots when you pop all your stuff? That's also a big one. And like even when the actual rotation is very simple, like small things like that really add up. Also, if I take you, Bandy, right, like imagine you're in like your normal everyday like average guild. If I grab you and I put you in a really good guild with a really good tank that kills the bosses faster and the mechanics go cleaner, some classes, especially the Warlock, but some classes really take advantage of that. Especially classes with very long cooldowns. For example, Dead Knights. Dead Knights, Empower Rune Weapon. 5-minute cooldown. Insane cooldown. You get all your runes for free. Any fight that goes like just over 5 minutes. Very important detail when you look at these parses, guys. Actually, I think I understand it now why they are doing so well. Let's see, where's the Elegon fight? I am willing to bet it has something to do with these guys. Okay, you see this? 5-12 seconds. 5-12 seconds. Oh, it's cut off. I was aiming at nothing the entire time. You see how these fights are like 5 minutes and 12 seconds? Like, there you go, 512, 540. 5 minutes is the cooldown of Empower Rune Weapon. What are your best cooldowns? Most classes do not have a 5-minute cooldown, but DKs do. So a fight that is almost exactly 5 minutes, a little over 5 minutes, you get to pop your Empower Rune Weapon, your best freaking cooldown, twice. Of course a DK is gonna dominate in a fight that is a little over 5 minutes, because they got the best cooldown in the freaking game twice. You know what I mean? So the length of the fight also plays a huge role into like what class is gonna dominate. And once again, like what we were talking about, if you're in a bad guild, maybe you get like a 7-minute kill, that's gonna get rid of your advantage. So even if you are good yourself, if I put this guy, round K2, right? Like, I don't know, Cantabile, this guy, if I put this guy on a guild that kills Elegon in 7 minutes, his parse is gonna be a lot worse, just because of cooldown uptime. You know what I mean? There is a lot of factors. It's not just the rotation difficulty that makes the variation in like the ranges we see in the rankings. The variation in here, you know, that affect more classes, some classes more than others. So that what you're saying is blame my guild? I mean, yeah, if you're really good and your guild is really crap, there is a point that like you're gonna have to get to a new guild. If you care about parsing, right? I don't care about parsing, but if you care about parsing, you need a good guild. You simply do. It's the way it works. Closer to Celestial Gear, that's a good point as well. I think Celestial Gear will affect the rankings. The more, especially Fire Mage. Okay, believe me, okay? If you wanna call me out in a week and say I was stupid, the Fire Mage is gonna go up in ranking a lot in like 2 weeks. Just wait for Celestials. I assure you the Fire Mage is not that bad. It just needs freaking gear. We need gas to cook. They need gas. Overall, the meta is not very stable. The meta is not very balanced. And it makes you wonder, why did they bother changing up the classes? I don't know. I am sure the Unholy Death Knights are very happy. I am really tempted to try out the Unholy Death Knight, man. I'm gonna have to work on that Unholy Wicora. By the way, boys, we are live on Twitch every single day, so check out the description. We gotta follow, you follow, or I follow your mom, and subscribe, join the Discord, and thank you for watching.